What's going on, y'all? This is Jay Faith from the Right Mind Podcast. Thank you for checking out episode 137. This is the only time that you are going to hear from me until the end. We have some special guests for a very special episode. I'm not going to waste any more time. Be sure to check this wonderful, beautiful episode out. And as always, let's make some connections through conversations. What's up?
I'm allowed to love the person I am today, to be my best self, move out the way. Cause I won't let you take it from me. Cause I won't let you take it from me. I'm allowed to love.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought it was with an S at the
Oh,
end.
it's the
Like
right
when you,
mind.
Because you said
The right time?
No,
The right minds? The right.
No, you said the right mind, and in my head I'm like, oh, I think it's mines, but you were right.
Uh-huh.
You were right.
Just my intuition. That's who I am.
It's all good.
Right.
It's all good. So we're learning and growing here. It's all good. It's a different space for us. We're learning and growing. But Jill, if you want to
Hello.
send it off,
Yeah.
let's go.
Hello. I'm just Jill, and you are now listening to Right Mind Wednesday podcast.
Welcome everybody. I know that many people can't see me, but we are trying something a little different, something special here today. We have 4 amazing people here today to tune in, so I would like to allow them to introduce themselves, and then we'll get this thing started.
All right.
Cool. Just Jill. Hey, everyone. Yes. Just Jill, hip hop artist from Cambridge, co-organizer of the Bridgeside Cypher, and executive director of the Cambridge Hip Hop Collective.
Woo woo.
Hey.
She's all up in here. Blessings, y'all. I am Sassy D'estany. I am a singer. I am a artist. I am a mom and a wife, and I could go on and on, though I will say I also am the co-founder of Mass Spirits, and I'm also the executive director. And I'm excited. I'm really excited for this podcast and to vibe with these beautiful queens / goddesses around me here. So, yeah.
What's up, y'all? This is JoiBeatz. JoiBeatz, capital J, capital B, no space in between. All right, so I am multi-talented. I audio engineer. I'm an artist. I'm a producer. Getting into DJing as well. Actually doing my first DJ set at the collaborative event with Mass Spirits in the Bridgeside this Friday, which is at the Cantab Lounge. But yeah, audio engineer, producer, artist, creative director. I guess I could say I do it all in the creative aspect. So
right.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least.
My name's Nancia. I am an artist. I am the founder and executive director for Queenality Cares. I'm a mentor, activist, and I'm about to be like a co-director assistant for Smokehouse Media because I've been working on the grounds, doing a lot of media work behind the scenes and learning about the camera. So shout out to Smokehouse.
Yes. Okay.
Welcome everybody. Thank you guys for taking your time for coming through. I know this was a lot of coordinating, but thank you guys for taking the time. We are here. I'm excited to just get your perspectives on everything that we've been kind of discussing just prior, and just kind of letting the people know and get a little insight into you guys and what y'all do, as well as just your perspectives in your respective kind of your passions, your joys, your loves, your hates, and everything in between. So one of the first things that we kind of just talked about is just the different creative processes between your rapping, singing, and producing. What is kind of like your creative processes when it comes to those kind of things? Anybody feel free to popcorn it off.
Okay. So, for me, as a singer, I'm actually a freestyle singer. That's like my main thing. I love being able to create right in the moment. and be present in that time. And I'm also, it ties into just my work as an empath, like as an intuitive person or being able to tap into people's energies and, you know, listening to different crowd or different audience people that I get to just ask them questions and then sing a song for them. Or sometimes it just comes from a cappella point of view, or maybe I'll have them sing something that sounds nice that we can all do in unison to create whatever it is we create in that moment, because it makes it that much more special, and people really get to connect with themselves and with the people around them. And that doesn't always happen. You know, that's not so easy to do. So I really enjoy doing that. So even in my process of like writing music, I do a similar thing where I just kind of, all right, let me listen to the beat. If I feel it, I'll start singing to it, record myself, and then go back and revise it if I feel like that. Though I am definitely a person who hoards her music.
Okay.
So there is not too much for you to find at this very moment in time. And I am doing my best to change that. And I am changing that this year, because I was called out by a good sister of mine, which was great. I really needed that to be called. She's like, you told me you were going to release this. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was taking some time, you know? Yeah. And she did it in such a gentle way. So it was really, really loving and caring. So I would say, yeah, that's a little bit about my process.
How do you like, I would say, like, continue to develop like the freestyling?
Oh, so that's a great question, actually, because it's an everyday thing. Okay. In every moment, you would think that it's like, okay, well, you're freestyling anyway. You could just do it whenever, wherever on the spot. Though the more I do it, the easier it gets to do, because at the same time, you don't want to just say nonsense, right? I at least don't want to say nonsense. I want the story to connect. I want people to be able to be like, oh, she just told the story about her first time having a boyfriend or something, you know, whatever it could be. And so the more that I'm just on the daily singing, vibing out, and even just singing other people's songs, covering songs, that really helps me to freestyle better, get a different flow, get a different energy, a different vibration. And and so it's an everyday practice. It's not easy. And I didn't know that for a while because I naturally do it, though in doing it more, I'm like, oh, but there's other things I can add. I can make this better. I can connect with other people. It's definitely an ongoing process, just like being similar to being a rapper and or a producer. You have to practice no matter what. Right. Your own thing, other people's things, just practice daily and you will become a master.
For sure. Yeah, freestyling's always been a struggle for me. As far as that's definitely not one of the things I would say is in my arsenal, and you know, definitely hold high respect for people that can do it. Yeah. Definitely excel in other areas, and I think that's, you know, just part of like being an artist and stuff. There's things that you're gonna excel at and things that you're not, but that just kind of put you in a space of just who you are as an artist. Like, you know, you have guitarists that can do certain riffs and others that can, and that just like kind of shows you where they are on the scale of you know, how they've leveled up, or you know, just skills that they've learned. That's just where, you know, their bag is for that specific thing. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think like one thing we've always said is that with especially freestyling, it's like a muscle, and you always have to work at it. Yeah. And like, I appreciate so many people who, you know, really go ahead and like keep at it like that. And I tend to like struggle with that, just like trying to juggle everything. Because I've always like considered myself as a writer, and that's what I feel like I excel at more than freestyling. But at the same time, I think when you're like, you know, with your group and they're always like inspiring you to do stuff like that. And I've always like appreciated singers being able to freestyle and sing. I've always been like kind of like jelly in a way because it looks so easy.
I'm like, man, how you just like
like, because I'll be watching Sassy and I'm like, yo, she's getting it. And like,
I'm like, sometimes I'll get two and then it goes until just repeating the same stuff. And
it's like, hard.
No, it is not easy. I'm not even as a person who does freestyles. It is not easy. And some people, you ask a rapper, like my husband is a rapper, and he'll say that it's harder to freestyle rap than it is to freestyle sing. And I'm like, no, it's harder to freestyle rap into freestyle. What are you talking about? I gotta rhyme. I gotta make sure it flows. I gotta switch up so it depends on who you are. Everyone's opinion will be different on it for sure. And you're just like, okay, well, I guess that's just me, my perspective. It's all different.
Yeah, I'm with Jill. I think my biggest struggle is trying to like fit it into my time of everything that I'm doing. Because like I've tried like on my ride home. I'm like, oh, like it's free space. Like I can rap. No one's gonna hear me. I won't mess up. But I can practice. But then now I'm yelling at somebody that's driving, and then I'm losing focus because I'm trying to get home. So it's like I can't. It ends up throwing me off, and then I eventually just like give up because I'm like, no, like I would rather give my 100% and focus to it. But then it's like you get home and then you have all the stuff you got to do at home, or I'm working on a podcast, or I'm just trying to write a song. It's like, all right, well then there goes that time for that.
Right.
So it's like just trying to like find ways to kind of put it into everything else that you're already doing. So but yeah, anybody else? Just the processes, creative processes. I know we went everywhere. But that's what I love about this.
Popcorn joy.
My creative process, it really varies based on what I'm feeling in the moment and like what I'm creating. Like there's times where I could be watching a TV show or like hanging out with somebody, and then like a scene in the TV show could remind me of this particular moment in life, or a character could remind me of like, oh, this person reminds me of this person, and it could bring me back to something personal to me. And then I'm like, oh wait, I got a song idea. Okay. Or like a hook idea might come in my head, or like a bass line idea might come in my head. It really varies. And then based on that, like for example, a song I just released recently, that started off where I just came from like a hard time in terms of like relationships when I was living in Philly on my own, and then I moved back home, and then I was watching what we were watching. I was watching P-Valley with my mom, and like one of the characters reminded me of somebody that was just like, they hurt me, and I'm just like, oh dang, like blah blah blah. And then I was also high at the time, like me and my mom, we were just like getting elated. And then I just came up like with the hook, like I just want to get high and fuck. And then from there, I just like started creating the beat. And like once I came up with the hook idea, I was like, I don't want to lose this moment. So I went into my studio, and then I started like laying down the foundations of the beat. And then from there, like the verses I have on that song, like is all like in a way freestyling. And I feel like some of my best stuff comes from like, what am I feeling in that moment? And I'm like writing the song along the way based on just the storyline I want to give out and everything. But then there's also times where like I might be elated again. We're just gonna use that word. Or I might be going to sleep. It happens a lot when I'm going to sleep, and like a bass line idea or a piano idea or like something instrument wise will come into my head, and then I'm like, all right, let me record a voice memo right quick. Like whatever the voice memo is, and then I might not go in that moment, but the next day I might go to my voice memos if I'm like, okay, I want to make a beat. All right, let me listen to this voice memo, a voice memo that might be labeled like cool bass line, this bass line, or piano idea, and then I might listen to it and then go from there, produce, and then whatever comes out of that will come out. If it's like what I did with the song, where it's just like I'm vibing in that moment and creating everything from writing and everything in that moment, then it's whatever is all in my head. Like I have like a whole orchestra and like band in my head, and I could hear all the different elements I want. But then sometimes when I go to produce it, it might come out differently based on just like other stuff I'm doing and other, instruments I'm putting in. But it really depends, and especially with writing as well. Like if somebody sends me a beat and it was like a random beat they made, and they named it like Green Street, then I might be like, all right, I'm gonna make this song about like Green Street. What does this remind me of about? And I might try to like make the song cater to the title of the beat, and like theme like. So it really depends on just like whatever however that song, beat, or idea is moving me. That's the direction I'm gonna go. Yeah.
I feel that. For sure. Especially though, like you're about to fall asleep, and then every single idea pops in your head. You're like, yo, I'm trying to go to bed. I love being creative, but like I need to sleep too at the same time, and it drives me crazy.
Same.
5 a.m. It's still like.
Yeah, it's like
100%. Absolutely.
That's really real. True. What's your popcorn, sis?
my popcorn.
Pass it
Oh,
over.
well,
Passing it
yeah,
on.
you already went. Queen.
My creative process, over the years, I've kind of like organized it in my head. So, being in the business of music, I have a creative process where obviously artists are emotional. So, how I feel is how I write and how I sing. Just simple. And I use that as like, I tell people all the time, music is therapy. It's a way for you to process your feelings, process what you're going through, process your experiences. So, if I'm feeling a certain type of way, it's just way much more easier to like come up with the words, the feelings, and how you want it to sound. Then the second process is the business process. Being in the business of music, I have been asked and requested to do certain types of songs. So that was a challenge because you just have to like, it's not about you when it comes to that. So that's another part that I realized about music, and writing music and getting to the business of music, because it's another way of financially supporting yourself. So I find that to be a very fun exercise because you don't have to think of the words. If it's a theme or a topic, like for instance, First Night Boston, we just did that with Joe, made the theme song for them. All the words came easy. First Night Boston, it's, an annual celebration. It's in Boston. Half the words are there. The lyrics are there. You just got to find the right beat. And then from there, everything just kind of clicks together. So those are like my two creative ways of creating music.
Yeah. Is there something that you do where, like, say it's like somebody sends you a song and it's like, yo, I need you to write to like a sad song, but obviously like you may not be feeling sad, but you're like, I gotta work on this. Like, is there something that, or like vice versa, like it's a happy song and you're like, I'm really not in the mood to be all happy, and we all get in those moods sometimes. Is there something that you do to maybe try to like get you, not necessarily like force yourself to be sad, but get your mind in the right place to be able to do that?
I kind of feel like artists are actors too.
I feel I feel it.
Because, we have to perform. Sometimes we are performing different songs that reflect different times in our lives, and we have to like get into that situation. So when someone does send me a song and I have to write to it, or I have to like kind of feel what they're feeling, I listen to what they say. My biggest pet peeve is when people do songs and the features don't match. So
that's real. That's real.
That's very common nowadays. Yeah.
So I don't want to be that person. So I try my best to match the vibe, the tone, the feelings. And if I'm not in it, again, sometimes people are like, oh, just send it over like tomorrow. Like,
Sure. Okay.
obviously, as a professional, I have an obligation, so I have to find a way to, and I do different things. Like I might listen to a sad song, I might listen to other sad songs, a sad movie that might make me cry, and then it'll set me up to, do whatever. So, as an actor, which I've, been exploring as well, it's just like the responsibility of delivering emotions. That's like what we do as artists. Is you're responsible for delivering an emotion. So.
For sure. Yeah. No, I respect that. For sure. Because, like, I just sent a song to somebody and, I gave him, like, kind of the theme. I didn't have any vocals recorded yet, but I was like, this is kind of the topic that I want to go off of. I sent him the beat and everything, and he responded and just said, hey, like, once you have your lyrics down, the chorus down, like, send that back to me so that I can write to it to give you something better. And it's like, thank you for, like, I appreciate stuff like that. When people are like to what you're saying, it's like, I want to be able to connect better with what you're saying and make sure that everything is on topic and on brand with what you're saying, versus me just assuming and then, like, again, like you said, putting a verse that has nothing to do, and then it's like, what do? Do you tell him, hey, you need to rewrite this whole thing? Thank you for, wasting your time. Putting a verse together. Now you gotta, maybe go back to the studio. You gotta go back to the studio that you probably paid for. now you're wasting time and money on something. That
not if they paying.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true.
Smokehouse business. What you want to do?
Yeah.
You want to do it right? So I always ask to have the lyrics, everything set. Just put everything in place so I know exactly what I need to do.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, because just like she said, like, not that we're just actors, but also when music in itself, we're also telling a story. So that's big in acting. So the fact that, like, having someone else's lyrics, like, that person in the other verse could play off, like, even if they're using one word or one line based on what they said, referencing it in their verse and how they're writing so that it could relate back to what you're saying instead of, so I do that a lot when people send me songs to, like, hop on too. So, like, that was, like, a good, mesh well together.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Jill? What are some things? Did you? We've been so deep in conversations. Have you shared?
I mean, kind of. I was spitballing off of Sassy, but, like, as far as my creative process goes, it's hard. Like, sometimes I really struggle. But what I've been trying to do as of recently, to inspire me is just, like, a beat name.
Yeah.
And try to really focus on that and just keep, like, the energy. Like for instance, for the cypher, like, I wrote a verse today. We're having a cypher come up on the 3rd, and one of the beats we're using a J+ beat called Game Time. So, I wrote about, like, the first cypher, it's game time, let's go, like, got in my zone.
Let's kick it off.
Yeah.
Let's set it off.
And trying to, that's another thing, just trying to be consistent, like how we were saying earlier about, like, freestyling and how, it takes time, like, you have to, like, be consistent with it. You can't, like, really let yourself fall off or you start to get rusty. But also, if I'm feeling, like, writer's block, I just try to structure, like, okay, what do I want to convey in this verse? And then start just, like, throwing out words that happen to rhyme. Or, like, just writing sentences, like, okay, I want these first 4 bars to be about this. And then just kind of, like, picking at it, even if it doesn't make sense. So I have some sort of foundation. So I've been trying to be, like, more mindful in that way, so it gives me some sort of, like, base to work with. And then I can be like, okay, like, now, we got to go in and can figure it all out. But yeah, there's been times where I've really, like, been, like, in a funk, and I'm like, oh, like, I've been sitting on, like, 8 beats, and I'm like, come on, bro. But yeah, I think I've over time gotten better at figuring out, like, okay, how are we gonna make this work? What are things, even if it doesn't make sense or looks kind of crazy right now, like, what am I trying to convey?
Yeah.
But it's not recorded, so, like what Sassy said, it's like you can always go back and just revise.
Right, exactly.
Fix it, like, it's not released, so it's like, get like you said, get that foundation down, get just something started, because sometimes I tell the teens that I work with, like, just get something started, because then that one idea could lead to something else.
Right.
And then it's and then eventually, like, everything starts falling down. You're like, oh, okay. I just had, like we said, outside.
Yeah.
You just gotta start it.
Get
Just get started.
Exactly.
And it'll
Right.
everything will piece itself together. You'll get in the rhythm, and then you're like, okay, I got this, and then you say one word, and then again, I'm, like, touching on everything that you guys are saying. It's like you hear something that reminds you of that one thing that you maybe went through a couple years ago, and you're like, no, that's what I want to write about.
Yeah.
Right, because then it's like,
okay.
because then it, like, becomes a job. Like you're saying, if someone's asking you, like, oh, like, I want to collab and I want to do this, they're expecting something of you, and then you're like, oh, snap. Like, how many people were like, yo, let's collab, and then you guys don't come up with anything. And then we're just like, yo, we're gonna do that thing we said we were gonna do. But then like there's just like that one person who's like dead serious, and you're like, oh, like,
yep. Someone
I can't just be like, sure. Like, I gotta deliver for real. So it's like you gotta be consistent, but once you get that groove and you're like, okay, like I can figure out my foundation and how I want to like deliver this, like even if it's not 100% ready yet, like.
Yeah. And I do believe that sometimes we'll overthink ourselves into writing, that it stops it from happening in the first place, because we're like, oh, but I have this has to connect, like I already found this chorus or this hook, so this has to go with this, and it's not working, like it doesn't make sense, and you're just getting tight at yourself, and and there's so many ways that you can deal with that. Like sometimes you just gotta go to something else and then come back to it, or breathe, or go for a walk, or change it up, because then something completely different comes back. Like you're walking and you're just like, oh, I'm pretty relaxed right now, and I feel like I could do this. I can go back and have whatever it is written down and ready to go. Though I know that it happens quite often where we overthink in the moment, especially when someone's requesting something from us, because we're just like, oh man, like they're expecting some greatness. What do they think is greatness?
I gotta kill this.
You become your biggest critic because you're like, no, it's not good enough. And then you just get stuck in the transit, and then that's when you need like a second opinion. At least that's how I feel. At some point I'm like, Hunt, is this good? What do you think? You know? And then obviously honest feedback is great, and they'll let you know.
Bring me back to earth real quick. Like, can you just listen to this real quick? Let me just make sure I'm not like getting ahead of myself or getting down on myself, because sometimes I know for me, when I'm struggling with writing, like you said, like you start writing, you're like, no, this is trash, I don't like it, oh no, scrap it, no, and then you get discouraged, and then typically like most people will stop. And it's like, no, just keep writing, get those thoughts out. And then like I'll hit up these guys or whatever, and I'll be like, hey, like what do you guys think of this? Like where do you how do you feel like it sits? Whatever, just to get some like honest like outside feedback. Because sometimes we listen to music so often, like our own stuff that we've been working on, that you get like numb to it, and then you're just like, I don't know if this is good. Or you have that like you record something, and then the next day you're like,
right,
we need to go back to the drawing board on this one. Or you're like, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought it was yesterday. Right. It's actually way better. I just needed a fresh ear. Fresh ear to it. So.
Like sometimes all it takes is a beat switch. Because like I could be sitting on something for like 3-4 months. Yeah. And then I'll find something else that would go great with that. It's like, oh shit, like I should have been like looking for like other production. Like, sometimes it's just
that's a good outlet.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I was writing something recently. And I heard this beat and I was like, yo, like, what if I like did some spoken word? And I like wrote this thing and I was like, yo, this is fire. Like, this is gonna come out ill. And it sounded good, like really good in my head. And then when I was in the studio and I went to spit it, I was like, yo, sis.
Oh, yeah.
This is not it. They're gonna laugh at you.
I hate when that happens.
And I was heated because it was like, about like my upbringing and growing up. And like, I'm all trying to be poetic. And it was just like, no, this ain't it, girl.
You're like, gotta be genuine and from the heart. And then you're like,
I just like,
you need to check your heart, girl.
Facts. And like, I just like, I started over, but like, I wrote like, about like my inner child, so I just kind of like switched it up a little, and I was like, okay, like this works. But like sometimes you just gotta like start all over. You can't force it, like
Yep, for sure.
And it's okay, like
it's really okay.
It's okay. But it sounded so good in my head. I was like,
don't you wish you could just record your mind? Like,
just
come in here, like listen.
Yeah, because it was just going, and I'm like, so then I was just like, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. But I think it's definitely good to, like, I mean, because y'all have all worked together. Like, you guys have been, like, working together, like, collaborating on different things. And I think having that support system is, like, super great, especially as you're continuing to grow and develop yourselves as artists, as producers, as business people. I think it's important. And just, how do you guys feel, like, how important it is, especially networking with other women, especially in like the Boston scene, like how important that is for you guys to continue and to keep that strength going as far as that goes?
You want to kick that one off?
Oh,
Like just the value of just networking, and especially with women in the Boston area.
I only said Nancia because I know you have a lot of experience.
oh yeah. Well, it's very important. Obviously, starting from the roots, it's a male-dominated industry. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you go, 9 times out of 10. So, everything in life needs to be balanced. That's what creates peace. So the networking is very important, where we can find each other, we can talk to each other, we can relate to each other. Representation matters. So it's very, very, very important. And I feel like these past few years, you can definitely see it. The landscape has been changing, where you have lots of R&B nights, lots of R&B, just platforms. And even with, females with hip hop, more female representation. And that comes from networking. That comes from uniting. That comes from collaborating, talking, and having positive and healthy conversations.
Yeah.
And when you have that equilibrium, when you have that balance, it becomes better spaces, safe spaces.
Yeah.
And things aren't so uncomfortable, because why? You have relatability, you have representation, you have proper communication. And I think I'm very proud of what's been happening, especially with, Hot Girl Cypher and you bringing all the women together. And then just all the, and then everyone like kind of taking that seed and planting it in different places, which creates even a stronger network. So, Sassy with her, nonprofit and her music, and you saying like, I had a real conversation with a sister and she told me, where's your music at? You might take that different. It came from a guy. Man, a little offensive. Who are you? What you trying to tell me to do? For her, she's like, yo, sis, da 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 da. Okay, I know you usually get an attitude, but I know it's out of love. So, and I, that's that love. We can create those types of relationships, and that there's room for that naturally, because that's just how women are. That's how females are. I'm like, today's just her off day, whatever. Or today she's really caring, or she's big sis, or she's like, that network is what creates that environment. So I am super happy, even with Joy and her, and seeing what she's been doing. First time I met her, I was like, you do what? And you do this? And you do what? Okay, you a hustler. I support you 1,000%. Whatever I can do, say, whatever I can, anything, I'm behind you. And then seeing her going out there, doing her thing, being independent, creating her own beats, like just creating her own content and involving other women. I do the Queen mentorship, and she hooked up with Nancia, and they were connecting together. And I was like, I'm so proud of them. They're just doing their own thing, and they're trusting each other to create music. And I will tell you, years ago, it was not like that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I agree, yeah.
It just, you couldn't find a female producer like that. You couldn't find female engineers like that. It just, and it's still that way. But when I first started, I didn't see female engineer, for years. And that's a different type of energy that, that creates something different and another safe space. So it's very, 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 very important. That the key thing is representation matters, and everything being equal and balanced.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely important for sure. I feel it.
That actually reminded me too, because I do so much that I actually be forgetting Nancia's event, and Jay Hunt's actually gave me my first DJ gig over in Cambridge.
You see, she's forgetting. There was more DJ events than that. She's playing right now, y'all. Do the thing. It's okay.
So I just want to say that, and then because of Nancia's company, Queenality Cares. One of my most consistent clients was Nancia, who I met through her program as well. So it's definitely something that just being in community and coming together and everything that just helps everything. If it wasn't for Bridgeside, I wouldn't have met Terry and Sassy. Terry, Sassy's husband. For the people that don't know on the cameras. And Sassy's husband is like this, my second client, which I didn't just record, but I mixed their entire album. So if it wasn't for these organizations, a lot of the clientele that I have and the opportunities that I currently have and am growing, they wouldn't be a thing, especially with me being, like, I'm from Boston, but I call it me being newer to the community since I just moved back in 2022. So it's still like me getting back acclimated into the artist community and artist realm. So if it wasn't for all these organizations, then for someone like me, like female engineer, like she said, like I had a client recently that said, like, you're the first female engineer I ever recorded with. Like, so it is something that is needed and is growing, and with organizations and just like unifying, it really helps people like me, and also just artists in any different type of category. So yeah.
I think it also just shows, like, too, like, one, for like young women, like, it is possible. This is something that, you know, like you said earlier, you know, years ago, like, this wasn't something that was seen possible to get into, like, producing and running your own business. Like, you had some singers that were out there, but it's like it was very hard to kind of climb up the ranks of that piece too. And then also, just as like a male, it's like, dude, like, humble yourself a little bit too, because again, to touch on the freestyle thing, it's like she can freestyle circles around me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, just because female, male, like, there are things and skills that you guys possess that can be far greater than what a man can do. So it's like, don't hold you guys just because you're a female. Like, no, like, I'm about my business. I have the talent. I have the skills to do this. So, like, don't be trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm a female doesn't mean that I can't do what y'all are doing or do it better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, the freestyle thing, you know, like, you can freestyle circles around me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the line of the
freestyle circles.
Yes.
You know, and then people say, oh, like, he's a male, he must, you know, be able to freestyle and do this and do that. And it's like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
But, like, there's somebody just as talented, if not better, and she's a female. Like, it shouldn't be that separation. Like, like, we have a, not to cut you off, like, we have a female artist in our group. Mine's the one called, like, Regina's Chemic. I don't know if you guys have heard. Heard of her. And like, when I first met her, I was like, I don't see her as a female artist. I see her as an artist.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you know, everything is an even playing field. Like, and I think that's where it needs to be. It shouldn't be like, oh, female, male, insert word, adjective prior to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, y'all are artists. Like, plain and simple. Like, do your work. You know?
I think another... Oh, you about to say something?
Nah, spit, Joy. You got that.
I think another thing is just awareness, and like having these companies, organizations, and groups to spread awareness. Because, like, yeah, obviously, if you think like mathematically and statistic wise, the woman to male ratio in the industry, especially in the like tech side of things and everything, is very minimal. However, like, I've been to like conferences, like big music conferences like AES in New York. When I first went there in 2019 with my school, there was a whole thing of panelists, and all of those women were saying they worked on Prince's biggest albums, and like,
wow,
almost everybody a part of that engineering group on his album were all women. But it's like, I feel like because of the like, it's starting to get more known now in terms of like engineers and producers and songwriters starting to be more in front of the scenes and being in the spotlight, with social media being a big thing. But I feel like it's also an awareness thing too, because there are women a part of like some of the biggest hits, but we just don't know, because it's always like this one person always getting the flowers who happens to be a male, rather than like the president of AES in general. She's a female, and she's done big things, wrote a book and everything about women in the audio engineering field and stuff like that. I went to NAM for the first time this year, and there's like big engineers, Baines, and I forget who else it was, but like people that record Young Thug and Chris Brown, and then they're shouting out someone in the audience, and they're like, yeah, this is Dua Lipa's engineer, who's like the biggest pop star right now. And the girl is a woman, but I never heard her name before. So I think it's really like an awareness thing, because like, for example, I was a part of a class where Tyga's engineer was in the class with me. She's a female. Like, there's so many people that like, there's more females than we think, but I think because some of them, even Doechie's album that just won a Grammy, that engineer was a female. But I feel like because some of the females like to be more behind the scenes, but also just the awareness in it in general, and who gets the spotlight for when these big things happen, it's not really, you know, like advertised like that. I think it could be a mixture of like a marketing thing, an awareness thing, POV and stuff like that, because there are so many women working with like the biggest artists in the industry right now, and we probably don't even know, because it's more so because we have to research it more than like a Chris Brown's engineer or a Young Thug's engineer. So yeah
that's what I was gonna say. And I respect the, like, if you want to like stay behind the scenes, like, because that's just how people, you know, I don't want the fame, like I just want to do my thing, and like I respect that, but it's like I feel like it's one of those things where certain people will put like, oh, if we put a female on it, it's not going to get as much traction. But if we put that male, just like, even though the female is a part of it, they like, I don't know, minimize it, but put the male on top of it, because that male, whoever that person is going to attract more attention, and that's not fair. You know, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I think a little bit with what you were saying is like, they don't. Like, why do you have to search so hard to know that it's a female? The female should be, like, right at the top. Yeah. Like, if that's a producer, like, get her name up there. Let her stand on her own. Like, she's doing great things. The song just won a Grammy. Why is she not getting the same level of respect and her flowers that she should? But I think they kind of like, oh, it's still a female. And it's like, no, like, let her stand on her own and let her get her flowers.
Valid.
Yeah, and it's just not like you're saying, not as advertised the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a male. Oh, let's slam every single piece of marketing into a female. Oh, let's dial it back a little bit. It's like, why?
Yeah, like one of the biggest rappers in the industry that everybody debates about, Lil Wayne, his recording engineer is a female that I met recently too. It's like, you'll never know.
I never knew that.
These are like a mixture of people, like artists who are like legends in the industry and stuff like that, and like there's females on their team and behind them and helping them get to the recording quality or whatever that they're getting to. And it was just like, it's like you only know if you're in the industry and in those circles and going to these specific events where not a lot of people have access to, because they cost a lot of money and all that other stuff. So I think that's another thing too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important to just like have, like you're saying about like representation and like putting each other on with other engineers, and just how important it is to keep continuing that network. When I did my last album, Womanhood, like the whole thing was engineered by a female engineer, Allie, at Phoenix Down. And like that was just like such a dope vibe, because like I've been going to Phoenix Down for like probably the entire time I've been like rapping. And she was like one of the first, if not the first, that I've ever recorded with. And like we were just able to just like vibe out, super like respected the space, like had the queen energy going and getting emotional with each other and like, you know, just vibing. And it was just like super dope to be able to work with her. And you know, and they're out there, and that's like the crazy thing, especially now, like there's so many like women running the scene in so many different like disciplines, and I just feel like it needs to be more representation, and people will be like, oh, like, you know, word, Joy does beats, JoiBeatz does beats, but she engineers and does all this stuff, like, oh, I need to work with her, like, you know, so yeah, but I think it's dope the direction, you know, we're going in, and yeah,
we're doing our best.
It's
growing.
amazing, and it's growing, right?
Yeah, the more the better. Like I said, everyone taking their seeds and planting them and creating that balance that's needed. And I just learned a lot about more producers from you and stuff like that. I think you should probably, you know, kind of do like a YouTube review.
I love that.
And saying, hey, you know, because as much as you say like, hey, you know, there's not enough people speaking about it. So when there's, you know, a lack of, again, representation, it's like, how do we find that representation? It's so hard to find it. It's so hard resources. I would say the biggest thing you can do is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and your connections are important, and you want to increase those female connections to create a strong network. So whether if we work with each other or not, someone might need a female producer or engineer or DJ, and it's just like, I don't even know where to look. That's like where it starts. So these organizations, Hot Girl Cypher, and you know, and you have Sassny's nonprofit organization, and then like JoiBeatz is working with, you know, a bunch of females, and I'm working with a bunch of females, as well as other organizations, and then there's, you know, we don't want to dismiss the other side, because there's a lot of guys that support women behind these organizations. You have your husband, there's Aaron, there's Jay Hunt, there's you guys that are saying, hey, we want to create this platform so you guys can like elevate each other. And you know, again, I think at the end of the day, and I had this conversation you know, with Hunt a lot, and it's just like everything's balanced, and when you have that balance, that's when things are better. And it, you know, that perspective for me, I was like, okay, coming from a guy, I can see what you're saying. You know, and we need that. You know, we need that balance. But first we need representation so we can reach that. We need the networks. We need the connections. We need to plant those seeds. So I would suggest definitely talking about that again.
Gotcha.
Write it down for you. And just get it going. But I definitely, I mean, I agree with everything that's being said. And just to highlight the aspect of us being women, we are such powerful beings that it's like, when we put ourselves first, when we take care of ourselves, when we represent ourselves, when we speak about one another and whatnot, like that's what keeps it pushing. I do feel like there's this little bit, and we're getting back to it, which is great, but there was just this little bit of like a time frame of us just kind of being like, dang, like I can't do this, or, you know, there was a time where women couldn't work or get jobs and so on and so forth, and that just baffles me. Sometimes I don't even feel like that's even real history, because I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how did this all come to be? We literally give birth to life, you know, to human beings and whatnot. So, you know, I'm just always encouraging us as women to be like, yeah, let's speak up for ourselves. Let's represent one another. Let's build ourselves up so we can help build each other up. And that balance and harmony that needs, like, that's important. We need both sides. We need the women and the men, the females and the males, and, you know, just to create a better balance in everything that we're doing. I truly don't know what life would be like. I got to grow up with both a brother and a sister, right? So I had balance there, you know, and that was really, really helpful, because my family is mostly women, which is great and wonderful. Though at the same time, the women can get really emotional and not even think anymore, because they're just like, filled with this emotion of anger, frustration, sadness, and then, you know, then I have my brother come. He's like, yo, guys, like,
you can look at the same situation.
It's like, honestly, let's breathe for a moment. Let's just take a moment, like, let it out, like, cut it out, and we got this. We can handle this. So that it just helps us to keep moving. You know,
real.
Yeah, you know, so it's just the balance, and then both parties acknowledging that we need each other, that we can help each other out,
instead of
separating it all the time. And then on top of that, you know, us as women, it's like, it is really about stepping up to the plate, because I do see a lot of women kind of put, myself included, at a time where it's just like, I'm going to be in the background, and Oh, you want me to sing? Like, do you want me to? Instead of just being like, nah, I'm a singer. I'm ready to sing. Let's go. Where's the mic? You know, pass me the mic. And and that happens a lot even in like the cypher culture, right? Where it's dominated mostly by men or males. And so it's hard for us to have that or feel confident in being like, actually, I want the mic, because they're just ready. They're like, yeah, I'm out here. I got this. Cool. And so, it's up to us to be like, I loved seeing Jill being like when I first got into Bridgeside, because she was like one of the only women there majority of the time. And I remember you even in that time coming up to like, wow, you're a singer and you freestyle, like, this is great. Like, I got someone out, and it's just that.
Right. Yeah. And like, because I remember before I started like working with Bridgeside on an organizer level, I was just coming up and supporting. So it was like, I was like, word, like, this is in Cambridge. It's on a Friday night. Like, it's after work. It's, it ends at 11. Like, word. And I was going, and I was with my boy, Mishu. I was with Greatness. And I was going to support him. And, like, I rapped on the side. But, like, I wasn't public like everyone else was. But he knew. And, they gave me the mic, and I was just so inspired, like, seeing everyone else, like, killing it. Yeah. And I'm just like, word, this is the vibe. Like, the energy's going. Yeah. And then I start spitting and stuff, but, like, I was seeing, like, those other women kind of support each other, but then they would, like, go away. And I'm like, wait, like, where are all the women? Like, we were killing it last cypher. Like, and it just made me feel like I... like, legit just had to stay there. Like, Aaron, me and him went to high school together. And when I saw he was doing the ciphers, we just, like, connected again. And, it was super dope. And it just made me feel, I was like, yo, this is, like, meant to be. This is in the heart of where I grew up. Like, this is down the street from my childhood building. Like, I have to, like, stay here, and if more women come, like, that's dope. Like, and like, still super shy, like, but I still just felt like I had to hold it down. And
you did. And you do.
Try.
You still do.
And like,
you are our representative.
Yes.
Right. And I be like, I have my days too. I'm like, in my feels, like, oh, I can't do it. And then I'm over here crying in the corner with Sassy having a moment because she's my girl and she's supporting me. Yeah, it's just super important, and I just felt like that was always necessary. And I remember when we had, it was like maybe the first or second Starlight Square cipher, when we started incorporating the live bands, and like, there was like maybe 6 like women and vocalist rappers who came up on the stage, and like, we were doing covers, and I tried so hard to sing that day. I like prepared. I got like a vocal coach for a week. Yes. And I was like terrible. But besides the point, like, all these other vocalists pulled up, and they were just like harmonizing together, and it was like a big group of women, and I'm like standing there with everyone, and I'm like about to cry again, and I'm like, yo, like, this is so dope, like, this needs to like happen all the time. And then it like was, and I was just like so proud of everyone, and just seeing everyone vibe. And then like, we have those moments where there's just like a certain beat, or and then Aaron holds everyone off, like, nah, they're spitting. Like, let the girls do their thing. They're killing this right now. Y'all can wait. Yeah. Y'all have the last 4 beats. Like,
yeah.
I think there's just an essence that, like, in what you're saying, like, the balance that y'all bring to these things. And like, you mentioned something too, like, there's more R&B shows, which is a beautiful thing. Like, when I go to hip hop shows, like, I love when there are R&B artists that are there, so that it isn't just a hip hop, like, just like dudes just trying to rap. Like, give me something different, give me something new, give me something fresh. When you start hearing the same thing over and over again, if it's all dudes all the time, like, dude, like, give us something new. But when you hear like just a different sound, a different style, like, I love male R&B, female R&B, like, they each bring just a different essence to it, and when you bring them all together, like, it just makes for something far greater than if it's just one or the other.
Right.
Let's, like, just add something different. Like, we're tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over again. Like, it's getting old.
Yeah.
Like, let's incorporate some new and different things into it.
Yeah.
And I think the presence of social media is amplifying that as well. Where, you know, you have to be careful with what you upload with your content. Things are being censored. You want to brand and be able to promote your content. So your genre of music, I'm starting to notice it has a lot to do with that too. So if you're gonna rap or participate in that, it's not like what it used to be. So it's like you gotta mute your swears, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And if you're promoting at certain venues, they have to also watch out what's being promoted and posted on social media, which is why I'm saying, like, the landscape is changing a lot. It's being affected by, you know, just the presence of women, the balance that needs to be created, the seeds that we're planting, and it's just a big thing. Like, and I've gone to rap battles. I've even seen some online, and, you know, the guys, they're spitting. I'm like, oh, and it's a bunch of dudes, and it's like, wow, that's so dope. But I don't want to be in that space, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. But then there was another rap battle called Queen of the Rings.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And
I think Babs from the band, from making the band, she runs that.
So for the first time, well, I'm gonna say for the first time, but I had seen, like, again, historically, you'll see rap battles be predominantly men. So they came. So Queen of the Rings came up, and I think there's other stuff before that, but that was the most popular platform that I was like, oh wow. And one of the artists there, she's from Rhode Island. Her name is Couture, and she killed that whole thing, and just, it made you like, wow, like, female rappers are dope, and it just revitalized, you know, just your perspective on rap. So if you were a female rapper and you felt like you didn't have a space to go to, or that was one of the spaces you could go to, and it was super dope. And not only was it super dope that all the females went to it, but the guys came in support. But it was just epic. It was phenomenal. It was just, you wanted to see the next one. It was so competitive. But it was in a female version, and all the girls did great. Some of it was very, like, brutal, but you're like, she's holding it down, and it made you want to support. So just, again, that it was, you can still watch it online.
Is that the one with Remy Ma? Is it like the battle rap?
40 bars.
Yeah,
is in
40
it too.
bars.
40 bars is in it too.
She's from
Or
Boston.
was Remy Ma judging? Because there was a battle rap where it was like, I saw like female
I think
battle
Remy Ma
rapping,
did
and
have
Remy
it,
Ma
but I don't
like,
think it was
in one of them.
I
don't know if it was that. I'm just wondering if it was the same thing you're talking about.
That was a different battle league.
Oh, okay.
Their own battle league that she started.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's cool. Battle League, like, so there's again, you have female sports, you have male sports. So you had the female league and you had the guy leagues, and so there was something for everybody that you were like, okay, cool, that's dope. I can definitely connect, relate, and I would love to check that out. But it was just super dope to see, super exciting, and again, everyone planting their seeds and creating platforms and creating that balance. So, but yeah, it's intense if you watch it.
Check it out.
Chrome 23, the Remy Ma.
Oh,
It's called what?
Chrome 23.
Chrome 23. That's a dope name.
yeah, it's good.
But that's what's important, you know. Jill and I, we had talked about this, I think the last episode that you were on, is like being able to create these like safe, respectful spaces. Like, it's important to like have them and to continue to flourish them, because you need those spaces where you can feel comfortable going to them and not worry about like, oh, like, you know, all these dudes are gonna like talk down to me, or you know, I'm not going to be able to spit, I'm not going to be able to rap, like I'm going to try to show up, but like all the guys are going to hog the mic the whole time. You know, it's like being able to like show up and just be like, yo, like this is my space as much as anybody else's, in a respectful way, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, it's super important. Like, and one thing in the beginning, like, it was when we were doing Bridgeside, it was still like pretty aggressive and like kind of like just
like yell at people. Like, yo,
my boy, he doesn't do it often, but when he does,
y'all done waking the beast.
And people, no one's gonna listen to me doing that, you know, even though as much bad as I want them to. But like, yeah, come on, guys.
It goes hand in hand because sometimes you just can't reach that octave. You know how they say like the dad voice, like the mom might say something, but then the dad's like, "Hey, cut it out!" Can't stop. You know,
right?
So you need that balance. Like sometimes you just need that extra octave to go a little bit deeper.
My dad was scary. I'm like.
But sometimes, like we say at my job, because we're taking some kids on a trip to Chicago, and I was talking about, you know, I have a new girl that's coming in. I was like, I would love to take her because she's been putting in the work somewhere else. I don't want to have her miss out. And he was like, there's like two things. One, you got to make sure that she's, you know, you can correct her if you need to, you know, like, hey, like make sure you know, kind of fall in line, do what you're supposed to, listen to the teachers, listen to the staff. And then he's like, the other thing is, which I've become I've made it a practice of mine as well, is like, you should be able to just give somebody the look and they stop. You know what I mean? Like if somebody acting a fool, you just gotta like look over.
It's like reading the room.
Just that's a rule.
And like they'll
I thought it's for your mom.
And they'll stop, you know? So it's like, you know, just having those people that are able to do those kind of things. And again, that balance, but it's you need those safe and respectful places.
Yeah.
And, you know, people to support that too, not just kind of like, yeah, everybody's welcome, and then somebody starts talking out the side of their neck and nobody does anything. Like, that's not creating a safe space at all. Like, you're just kind of just adding to tolerating the piece of it.
Right.
You know, you need to have those, you know, and that it's beautiful what y'all are doing, and you know, Jill, you sticking with it and being like, no, like, I need to be here. I'm like maybe not sure at the initial beginning of it, like why I need to be here. I'm still a little bit shy, but I know that I need to be here, and like look how far it's come so far. And it's like you just continue to add people and add the support. It's like, no, like this is a beautiful thing, and it's gonna create a beautiful thing. You just need to let it happen. You just need to let us do our thing.
Oh, for real. And it's happening.
Right. Read the room, guys.
Because I'm sure, like, at the beginning, like, there had to be, you know, probably some setbacks and things. Like, what do you feel like was maybe some of those struggles that, you know, you guys dealt with, either with Bridgeside or maybe just, like, in your own businesses or platforms?
I think, like, it was always just, like, really a growth process, but, just, like, there still being people who could like pick up on like yo, everyone like fall back, chill out, like it's like the hogging the mic thing, like when you're passing the mic in the cipher and everyone's like and then like my little hand, I'm like, nah. I wasn't ready to like yank it just yet because it was like 2018, but like you got that one guy that's like, yo, chill out, like it's Jill's turn,
right?
And like just setting like that standard.
Yeah, you have to.
And you know, over time trying to just like find like, you know, what's not working, and then just try to like, you know, just evaluate it and be like, okay, like when we did have like women coming like and being like kind of discouraged, it's like you were saying with the octave, like, you know, like we can have softer voices, like and so we need to like amplify them and make us feel like we're being heard. And so it's like, you know, turning up the speakers, like it's something as small as that, or like, you know, one thing we did, and I think I mentioned it last time, is kind of like a rule of no disrespecting women when you're on the mic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it kind of like filtered out like who's like, no, like I'm just gonna wow, that's not how I spit, or people who actually like care and, you know, want to become better at their craft.
That's right. Yeah.
And not just like while out. Like young Jill spitting was off the chain, saying crazy stuff, but then like that's how like I also grew too, because I'm over at home watching Queen of the Ring and I'm like, yo, like, and then I'm like, oh, like it would be nice to write some nice stuff, like I'm nice, like that would be different, and just like, you know, trying something new, and then just being, it helps you be in a healthier environment also, like so I think that was like a huge learning curve when we first started with Bridgeside, and yeah, just also like it took the vibe has always just like been like something I've always like been really passionate about with like what we do with Bridgeside, and it just being able to have it be consistently like a healthy sort of like positive space, and not everywhere is like that, and like meeting people who aren't down with it like was a huge struggle for me, because I'm just like, dude, like how are you not into this, like, you know, for real, like, you know, this is like a vibe, this is super positive, like why do you not like this, like and it's like because like competition, or like even just the scene not being used to that, just not being used to that type of like energy, and like used to everything being like a competition, or you know, center of attention type stuff, and not it being like so much like community like, and even, you know, if you're at a different experience level than someone else and you're not like, you know, like this guy's trash or like whatever, there was just like there was just some people who weren't down with it, and that was like one thing that I really struggled with in the beginning as an organizer, was just like, you know, dealing, even if it's like someone who's close to you, that wasn't like,
that's hard too.
And just navigating that, because like especially when it's something you're so passionate about, and it's like,
yeah, because you could have homegirl that's like trying to just like find her way, trying to grow in it, and maybe it took her everything to just get up there and grab the mic. She may fumble herself a little bit, but like that growth moment was her just getting up there and grabbing the mic, so that the next time that she gets up there, she's gonna be able to spit 6 bars, and then the next time that she gets up, she's gonna be able to do 8, and the next time it's gonna be a full 16. Like, you want to see music prosper and continue. Like, let these people have some growth moments. Let these people stumble a little bit, but encourage them to get back up and grab the mic again.
Right, exactly.
Be giving more people advice rather than just like.
Right, like that's the space to do it. It's like, you know, and that's just how I always felt in my experience. And I mean, I feel at the same time I try to like remember that like this is my experience, and I'm very lucky to have this be as like one of my first real cipher experiences. Because like when you're going to other ciphers, it's like, you know, it's not like happy, like like everyone's like on like this ill like happy high, and like nah, there's like a 6-foot dude looking at you like, and like who's this,
or another female who might not understand, like you're not trying to compete with her, but she thinks you are, you know. So I think understanding the purpose of what you're serving, which is why I feel like the Bridgeside has been very successful. Like you guys right off the bat understood what your purpose was in serving the community of artists. I had seen everything
like just grow so much. Even from the first time I seen you, I was like, oh, she's spitting and she's all by herself. Why did that make you feel comfortable? That's because they made it feel that way for you. And then you kept growing that concept, that serving the community in that way for artists who are looking for spaces to make mistakes. And I remember one girl came up from the last cipher we did, and she's like, oh, I came up because you said it's a judge-free zone. Like, if I mess up, like, we're not going to judge you. I was like, no, absolutely not. And saying that's what this space is for. And if it's not for you, again, there's different things for different purposes. And when you again amplify your voice and say, this is what we serve, this is what we do, that's cool. There are other ciphers, like you said, it's like they will chew you up. But if that's what you want, if that's the type of competition experience you feel like you need, then you can go there too.
Right, and that's okay.
Yeah,
like, but if you do want to rock with the vibe of Bridgeside, you know where we're at. But yeah, no, exactly. Like, being okay with like different things, and like people not always like being as passionate as you are for other things. So I think that was one thing that was always like kind of a struggle for me growing as an artist, was just like having this experience and like realizing like, this is your experience, but this isn't like everyone else's experience necessarily. And then when they pull up, they're like, yo, this is... Yeah. I thought it. Yeah, like I would do it. I just feel like, you never know until you try something. And I think that's just so cool, like bridging like the Cambridge Boston like gap sort of. Like, and that's kind of what we've like tried to do. And like, when there are people who are just like, nah, like I'm not rocking with it, like, okay, like there's no offense. And I had to like learn that from Aaron, like, just like, all right, cool. See you when I see you. Right? Like, but not even like a necessarily you're missing out type of thing. It's just like, I'll see you when I see you. All right, cool. You're invited. Like,
right. And then we'll go have another one next month.
Yeah. And then when your people are going and then they come, they're like, whoa, like this is like a thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, like there are things for each person, and that's okay. But
at least test it, see if it is for you. If it's not, then okay, cool. Like at least you tried to show up and make a presence and try to see what it's like. You can't talk, how you gonna talk when you can't get in the club? Like, don't talk about us if you've never stepped inside the door.
You're still in the line.
Yeah, like if you never came and said, like, don't talk negatively, don't talk positive.
Yeah.
If you don't know, like, you really have nothing to stand on in what you can say about it. But if you show up and you're like, this really isn't for me. Okay, cool. Right. Thank you for showing out. Cool. Yeah. Maybe you need that battle scene. Maybe that is the ultra aggressive, let me size you up as soon as you walk in the door type of thing. Maybe that's what you need. But like here, we letting everybody spit, we letting everybody try, experience, grow, learn. Cool.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
That's real.
Anybody else? Just struggles, things things they've been facing through their journeys, and what's kept you kind of focused and staying in the game? I know, tough, heavy, loaded question. Yeah. put on the spot.
Life is hard. That's it.
Life be lifing.
Life be lifing.
Right.
That really is the quote. Life be lifing. Yeah. It definitely be lifing. Though, I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm 100% there and what I'm about to say. Though it's like life. Even with the struggles, I suppose it's just how you look at the struggle, because you really do learn so much. And instead of saying that I make mistakes or you make mistakes, like, no, I learned a new lesson. Like, there's a lesson learned, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to frame it as a mistake too, that's fine. There's just still nothing wrong with a mistake or learning or figuring out, I could do this better another way. And I mean, I suppose my struggle had been just really having that confidence, right? And being brave and courageous in what it is that you do as a person, because no one can tell you who you are better than you can tell yourself. So even when Nancy was saying about like knowledge is power. Like knowing yourself is power, because nobody else can tell you who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at, how you do this. It's like, because I know myself, I can walk into any room and be comfortable because I know who I am and I've been practicing that. And so I suppose like, yeah, it's definitely a lot of learning that comes into place when you are a woman and you are an artist, or you are in the music industry and or business, because there's just so many things that you got to look out for, so many things that you got to pay attention to, and so many people you meet that have different personalities, and it's there's always just so much going on at once. And even right now, the world we live in right now, it's like it is so hard to focus, right? Maybe that's probably the struggle. It's like to be able to sit down and focus on what you want to do, even if it is music, art. It is hard. And I don't believe we're all aware of that. I don't believe everyone is aware of how hard it is to focus, and so we beat ourselves up and we get really upset with ourselves about not accomplishing certain things, when the truth is like there is technology, right? Social media. We got phones that we hold constantly, that we communicate through, that we can go on the internet, that we can get answers, and so it's like it is very tough to just sit down and to be grounded and to focus. And I just find that it is one of the simplest things you could do is just sit and take a breath. At least for me, I just realize sometimes how much I don't breathe. Of course, I'm breathing with you, though I'm telling you, like, taking that present breath. Sit there, close your eyes if you need to, or just
be in the moment.
Just do that. We don't give it. We're always like, oh, go. Oh, okay, you got a question? All right, let me answer it. Like, I'm ready. And it's just like, listen, there should be nothing wrong with being able to sit, ask a question, and to pause and ponder on it and think about it and then answer it. We've so fast-paced. Everything is so fast paced, and you feel that pressure all the time wherever you are, wherever you go. Even people who visit Boston, you know, from the South especially, I'll say that. They're like, what's y'all rush? You know? It's almost like they're speaking to me in slow motion when they speak, and I'm talking to them. They're like, you just sound like a little mouse. Like, I'm just like, oh, well, you know, that's how it be over here. We're always ready to go. And so, yeah, I would say the struggle has or had been having the confidence and having that focus, though, knowing that you're able to learn lessons and that you're able to stop and take a breath really helps. It really makes a difference.
For sure.
Relating back to what Sassy said with the confidence thing, it's like me personally, I know a lot of us are in like the same journeys, whether you already passed it or currently going through it as well, but like realizing that like there could be so many people around you that believe in you, that believe in your talents and everything, but at the end of the day, if you don't believe it within yourself, then all that talk around you doesn't really matter. Yeah, it could help, but you have to be able to get into that space mentally, spiritually, emotionally on your own in order to completely like grow and move forward. And I also feel like with growth in general, like with the whole fast-pacedness thing, it could like relate when it comes to like just taking those like everybody that we hear like podcast wise, interview wise, all our like inspirations, all they say is like, I just kept putting up shots, and some of them I missed, some of them I, like, for example, if you want to give like an NBA example, like LeBron James, he's like the best in the league, and when it comes to his records and everything like that, but we definitely seen him miss 3-pointers. I seen him miss a 3-pointer last night when my boyfriend was watching the game. But it's like, it's still LeBron. We still know he's great at his craft, but that doesn't mean, or like a Curry, that doesn't mean like every long shot that Curry shoots he's gonna make it, even though it's crazy, although he's made it before every time, and like the craziest buzzer beater type wins. But it's like, he misses those as well. Like, yeah, we see that, like, he put those reps in, he practices, they practice, but just realizing that, like, not every shot is gonna go in, and just because it doesn't go in, it's not the end of the world. You can still be great at what you do. And yeah, and sometimes it's just, you just got to make the shot at the right moment, and then that's all that matters. You can miss the first 50 shots, but that 51st shot that you made might be the one that gets you to that next spot, and it's like, okay, cool. And just realizing, I feel like our generation, we're scared to fail, me included, and I feel like what separates the people that succeed and the people that stay stagnant are those that are in fear of failing and those that just fail forward. And I think that's really important, and especially being an artist, because our work is such like a creative space where like Joe was saying, I thought in my head this sounds so dope, but then when I went in the studio, like, it was like, dang, that's kind of, I hope the engineer don't think I'm like, and I had a similar moment that I was gonna bring up before, Joe, where like I wrote a song and then I went to record and I'm like, dang, it's not hitting the same. What do I have to do different? But it's just like just realizing those different things and looking at things in a different perspective rather than like in a like, it's the end of the world. And I think because like on the other side, because of social media, like it has like, everything has its pros and cons, and I feel like because of social media, everybody's showing their wins. Everybody's, I see this 23-year-old and I'm 26, and this 23-year-old is DJing at the biggest stage in the world, and I'm just over here still figuring out how to transition well. And it's just like, everybody has their own path. Just your path is going to be different. Rhapsody won her first Grammy and she's in her 40s. Like, everybody's journey is different, and I feel like because of social media and because of all the like fast-paced environment of winning, succeeding and stuff like that, like, we're just all in a rat race, for lack of better words. And we just have to realize, like, back to what Sassy said, just breathe, see what path you're going, and just go one step at a time, because it's not the end of the world. And yeah, just keep going. Yeah,
facts. It's not the end of the world.
Anything you want to add in there?
Oh, challenges. It's challenges, right?
Yeah,
so
challenges, struggles, anything.
Well, everything's a struggle, but we have to keep pressing on.
Keep shooting.
I think the biggest thing, like I said, life is hard, life be life in, and I try to just take it one day at a time. I think that's the thing, because you have, the biggest thing, I guess, is like, when you're an artist, you're still a person, you still have family, you still have responsibilities, you still have other goals you might still want to achieve, and balancing that is, could be difficult. Some people feel like if they're not doing music, or if they're a mom, they can't do music. If they're a full-time student, they can't do music. If, it's like, oh, well, I don't fit, the criteria. And it's just like, no, God gave you a gift. You can still sing and rap part-time on your own, create on your own. It doesn't mean you can't do it. If you don't have a Grammy, it doesn't mean you failed. So, like, going back to what you were saying, Joy, is like, what is the definition of success when you're an artist? And there's many definitions. Obviously, everybody would love a Grammy. Obviously, everybody wants a trophy, and to get paid and get millions of dollars. But then you just have to self-reflect. Take that moment, like Sassy said, and just be like, I'm doing it. And it makes me happy. I do it for personal reasons. And it's for my soul or for my peace of mind. People I see so many talented people. I've seen so many talented singers, and it's just like, wow, you can sing better than, I'm not going to say people's name, but
This is a respectful space.
Yeah, it's a respectful space. Wow. Where are you? What are you doing? It's just like, I just do this for fun. Right. But guess what? That might be the spark of their soul. That could be their self-therapy, because they had, for whatever reason. There's a so many different reasons why people create art. Like, so understanding that struggle and appreciating, your talent and understanding like it's not the end of the world, like you said, and just keep working and balancing. And if stuff happens, you'll get back to it.
Right. I like what you said, Joy, about fail forward. Like, I think that's just something that it can take a long time to really like let that like sit in with you. And I know there have just been like some times where I'm like, I can like beat myself up a lot on things, and I'm just like no, that wasn't it. Like, that wasn't my best. Like that. Like, I'm not happy with how that went. Like, I'll sit on it for like 2 months, still like being mad at myself, and just like, it's not the end of the world. And you know, being okay with like lessons and moving forward. And I think it can be really hard, like not even just for, but like people in general, like just, and like you're saying with social media, like you know, we didn't always like always grow up with that. Like people were like in your immediate like
real life.
Yeah. Now you got the whole world like dissing you and like just like trolling and all that, like on top of it. Yeah. Like that sucks.
I will say it puts a lot more pressure on you, because if you do good, it's like, oh, that's nice, 2 likes. But if you screw up, you go viral. Yeah. And I also, an example of that is the girl who messed up on the national anthem. I don't know if I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that video. She screwed up and she swore. Do you remember?
Swear in the national anthem?
She screwed. Okay, so she messed up, and you know what? I feel bad for her. And she made a mistake, and it was filmed and put on social media, and it would be always hung over her head. And that's a scary thing as far as like being an artist, is like any small show you do now can turn into a viral moment. So now you're kind of, again, it's a different playground now. It's just like, it's just a small show. Yeah, but there's 20 cameras there. So if you so you have to like really prepare yourself, even if you are coming up, you know, it's like right now the whole stage is the world because of social media. So it's different, and that's a challenge and a struggle that I have to deal with, because I'd be like, no, I'm not prepared. I just prefer not to do it. if I feel that way, even if it's a small show, it's like I'm just not prepared to do it. And making those types of decisions and training the upcoming artists, like, if you're not ready to do it, then don't do it. This is different times, you know. And it's not like when you made a mistake and people are like, oh, you know, you'll be okay. No, now you have the whole world who's strangers. That's just like you said, like they'll diss you, they'll make memes of you, it's even crazy how now people are commentators. They'll replay your video and be like, oh, so tell me what you think about it. Like, oh my god,
I already lived it. I don't want to relive it 400 more times.
So, and think about what that does to your mental, you know, your psyche. And just, so it's really challenging in that aspect, you know, just understanding, you know, where we are with social media and what it means to be an artist, and how you don't want to disappoint your community, your friends, the people who support you. So yeah, I totally feel
based on what you just said too, like a lot of the industry's biggest like artists wouldn't be who they are today if those moments happen where it's an equivalent to that girl singing the national anthem and going viral, and now like everybody's like, yeah, they probably don't want to like book her or hire her. But if you even see on social media what goes viral of like, yeah, this is Lauryn Hill's first Apollo show and she got booed on the stage, Neo got booed on the stage at the Apollo, and they're like the biggest stars. But if they were out then, now like would they even be who they were because of social media, and then them not giving them another chance? So that is a good. I never even thought
there's
of it
not
like
that much grace.
You gotta bring it back.
That's what it is. There's not that much grace. So now artist development is more important than ever. You know, it's so important because, like you said, there's not that much grace. and I've made mistakes. I've forgotten words. And I still remember them. There's just stuff that I've just been embarrassed about, like, oh, that was a horrible performance. But that's for me and the people that were in that space, and I can reevaluate that and fix it, or get constructive criticism from people who care about you, who support you. It's different when it's just the whole world.
Everybody's got the camera out. Before you made a mistake, it was like just the people in this room knew about it, and maybe like a handful of people that they may have told, or it's like now 30 seconds from now thousands of people know the mistake you made, and it's like, yo, like, I was just trying something out and look what happened, and I messed up. But everybody takes it as, oh, they ain't ready, they're not focused, they're not
determined. It could have been like a super small mistake, and they just like blew it like way out of proportion.
Because everybody is like a professional now at everything. Apparently everybody's a scientist, a teacher, a doctor, like you said, they're commentating on people, like making videos like, so you see what she just did right there? It's like, no, I did not see. You didn't see nothing. That just, you have nothing to explain to me.
Who made you the professional?
Exactly.
Have you even ever taken a vocal class? Do you even know what it feels like to get on stage? You know many times Beyonce fell on stage and she got right back up and continued performing. But this is before that whole social media thing. Obviously her videos are still out there, but she's who she is now. But but
if you don't have that notoriety, then it's just
like, you don't. There's no room for grace.
Oh, can I curse on you? Sorry.
Get out, Joy.
It's okay, mistakes. You're canceled. No.
Wait, record that. 129. Okay, I'm gonna clip that. That's the only part that's coming out, and we're just gonna keep watching that. That'll be up in about 30 minutes.
You'll have 50 commentators on that.
For real.
She's not that joyful.
But it's true. It is up to us to like even change that aspect as well, right? Because it's like everybody's in everybody's business. Everyone is in everybody's business, and like I recognize it more and more when we talk about like the celebrities and stars, especially, and they're like, "Oh, you hear what Kanye did, or what? Oh, did you hear what blah blah?" And it's just like, okay, like I don't know what it's like to be in that bracket whatsoever. I'm not there yet. Like I have no idea what that's like, though. We have really become accustomed to like judging and saying, oh, what we think this person is, or, oh, like I know him, I watched him through the internet. Like it's as if you've met them face to face, and you haven't. And even if you have, you don't know them. You don't know their story, their family, so on and so forth. And so I know us paying attention and being mindful of what it is we put out and how we comment on things and so on and so forth, that's what changes it, right? We're the ones who make these viral moments, whether they're good and or bad. And we can make it so the brighter stuff, or in balance. It's always going to be balance. So there's always, it's always going to be one side, the other side, though.
The word of the day.
It really is the word of the day. It's just definitely up to us to decide what those moments are. We have so much power. We just have to use it to the best of our abilities in, a higher vibrational way.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, this has been super dope. Thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
I've been fed tonight, just taking everything in. Before we wrap, is there anything, you got any upcoming projects, anything you guys want to plug that you got coming up, or release that you just had? Before we wrap, share where people can connect with you. We're here to make connections through conversation. So where can people connect with you?
So I don't even know when this is gonna come out. So either way,
next week.
I'm gonna still say what I'm gonna say, because then we'll just have reviews from after anyway. Though we do have a show on Friday that is Mass Spirits and Bridgeside collaborating, and it's called The Collaborative. Nice. And in simple, it is about us being able to bring two organizations together and show that we can work together, that we do not have to compete, that we do not have to put each other down, that we do not have to feel like there's not space for both of us, because there is. And to show that here in Boston especially, that we know how to work in community. We know how to show love to one another, respect, and make magic together. Beautiful music. and be able to welcome the community to come and join in on that as well. So that is happening this Friday at the Cantab Lounge from 7 to 10. And then, wow, there's a lot of things happening. I will say that I do have a show that is going to be on May 18th. It's going to be at Sweet Basil on Moody Street. It's a restaurant. It will be real like cocktail vibes, like cocktail hour with Sassy type thing. Yeah.
That's cute.
So I'm
That's the name
really,
of the show. I
really
like it.
excited for
Sassy
that.
type thing.
Yes. I'm very, very, very excited about that, and just making more things happen when it comes to my art. And yeah, I believe that this year I'm going to have even more of a push to do more music, because I feel more motivated in that area. I just feel more of the confidence, and I'm like, I'm not going to be the same person I was right now in this moment when this time comes next year. That's the goal, is to really look back and be like, oh wow, you did that, you released this project, and you did this with this person, and not being afraid to ask for that help either. You know, and connecting with the people I need to, and actually do, like you were saying way earlier, where we're like, yeah, we're gonna collab, we're gonna do those things. Like, no, we're actually going to collab and do those things, get them done. So yeah, I'm excited. And then we'll have Mass Spirits. We'll have our 3rd volume this year, and probably most likely September. So we're really excited for that as well. And that'll be its own thing. So look out for that as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anybody else?
I just released a single. I just wanna, IJUSWANNA, all caps, one word. Yeah, I just released that on all streaming platforms, and kind of literally what Sassy said. Like, it's just my journey of not hoarding my music, because all the songs that I'll be releasing have been in the works for like, or on my hard drive for like 4 years or so. And also, like she said, like all those songs are about like my space and phase in life when I was living in Philly, what I went through, my experiences. And I feel like because I'm in such a different space, when it comes to like where I'm living, the relationship I'm in right now, and all that other jazz, like I want to just release that and still share me as an artist, because there's a lot of people in Boston that know me. Like, some might know me from like Bridgeside days as like, oh yeah, Joy raps, but others a lot recently know me just as Joy the engineer, and they be surprised when they hear me, my artist side. So it's just me building my catalog publicly and just releasing stuff. So there'll be more coming out as the year comes along. My video is at 18K right now. It's my first video with that many views. Shot by Nicole, which she's the manager at the Sound Lab. Edited by my man, aka the director, Rafi Shell. He did a great job, and me and him were going to be working on a lot of my stuff, just building our brands together as a couple, him as a director and editor, and me on my artist side. So that would be exciting.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't get no notification about the single.
I said it.
We're holding each other accountable. That's all.
It's important, for sure.
Let's see. I mean, this year, what's coming up? We have Queen Fest. We going to be working with, Bridgeside Hot Girl Cypher this year, and also doing a beach event this year. So for the girls, come out. The beach event. It's coming soon. Stay tuned. The album, as far as that, Queenality is out, and everyone can check it out, support it. Working on some visuals, definitely get into the acting thing. So really excited. We shot a video.
Yes, Won't Take It From
Me. We did a whole acting film scene with Jay Hunt, Smokehouse Media, and it was so much fun. And so we're really trying to pursue that, and hopefully everything will fall into place.
Yes. Sidebar, before I promote, I started like a creative art club at my job.
Okay.
and I showed my coworkers that video because I thought it would be like a good discussion topic. And then I was like, whoa, I forgot I made this song, and I had to turn my camera off because I started crying. I was like, all right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you liked it. So we acted, la la la.
Yeah. You did amazing. It was like it was your first time acting?
Yeah, that was like my first time.
Yeah.
That was your first time, right?
Yeah, in a long time though. But,
yeah.
So it was just great. Like the chemistry on camera was great. We had table reads. We practiced. We connected with Hunt so he could give us the vision. She had the song and she had a vision for it, and it's been so impactful ever since. Like, you're crying, but we performed like this lady started crying. Like, it's so powerful.
Oh God,
People
at Queen's Fest, right?
Yeah.
That woman was.
You talking about Starlight?
Yeah,
I remember.
She was just like in tears with the song because it was just so positive, empowering, and
I was like, sis, it's sound check. We didn't even start yet.
So just having art, projects like that. But I didn't know that. Hopefully nobody saw me.
Yeah.
They did. But.
That was dope. But yeah. So, Won't Take It From Me is out. Super proud of that project. Check out Womanhood, the album. Last project I put out. As far as upcoming stuff, we have the Bridgeside Cypher schedule going. So May 3rd is the first official street cypher. We got the Mass Spirits collab at the Cantab on the 3rd, this Friday. Super excited and looking forward. The 25th. This month has gone by.
Yeah, it did go by.
Hold
fast.
on.
Yeah.
It's already May.
Yeah.
The 25th.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
Then the 3rd.
What
is the
month?
street
The 25th is the Cantab.
Yeah.
Then the 3rd, which is a Saturday.
Right. Okay.
So this
it's
is why I
15th.
carry a planner with me. For real.
Hanging next to my keys.
Dude, for real.
That's smart.
Well, anyways, yeah. So we got Mass Spirits collab coming up. We got the first Bridgeside Cypher in Graffiti Alley in Central Square at Cambridge. Yay! That's right. I did get your email. Thank you. We get excited. Crew's pulling up.
I'll still be in Florida.
Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna knock you. You pulled up to a Bridgeside. You pulled up to a Bridgeside Cypher. I'm not gonna.
I've been to a few.
I'm just You have. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, they're bad, bro. The first time I went, I didn't know what the hell to expect. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, yo, all right, this is mad chill. Like,
Yeah. You have, right, exactly, But yeah, so we got that coming up. And yeah, Hot Girl Cypher.
Woo!
We got Hot Girl Cypher.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Yeah, that's
Fourth
crazy.
annual.
It's the fourth
Bruh.
one already.
I know.
Yeah, time.
I
Look
still
at
remember
that.
the first. That's
Yeah,
why I'm like,
the first
whoa, we're on
seemed like
number
it was-
Yeah.
4.
Hot Girl Cypher coming up. My big annual women empowerment cypher concert. We got a live band. We got like 10 featured women, and also do open mic style to any other women who want to come on and just like spit over the band. We do like cover song beats. We went off on Sexy Red. We did Get It Sexy at the like finale.
Yep.
It was
wild.
fire.
Yeah.
That video is on YouTube. Y'all need to check that out. We went off. But yeah, so we got Hot Girl Cypher, and that's gonna be in September. And it's gonna be in Cambridge. But yeah, so we got some fun stuff coming up this year. And yeah.
Can I give a quick shout out to all the male supporters like Terry Borderline, Paul Willis. Their albums are coming out this summer.
Yeah.
Paul Willis has hip hop leadership with his curriculum and album and everything for the youth, and just to show like teaching in a hip hop way in schools to have more. What's the word? Diversity, integration, in terms of how you're teaching and stuff. It's not the traditional way of teaching, but it's to connect with youth from like our communities and everything. So shout out to them and just everybody else. Like Jay Hunt, like Aaron King, everybody,
Everyone,
you guys.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Shout out to the Right Mind Podcast.
Yes, let's get it.
You know, I can't wait to be like a grandma on this series.
You already acting like
I know.
You be like, stop it. Stop it, kid. Someday.
Well, thank you again so much for taking the time to come out. This has been super appreciative of what you guys have been able to share. I've definitely taken a lot back from it, so thank you so much for your time. You want to just introduce yourselves one more time for the people, and we'll get out of here?
Yeah.
Just simple names are good. We don't.
Just Jill. You can follow me at Silly Jilly X3 on all platforms.
Sassy D'estany. You can follow me at Sing It All Sassy. That's with the Y, not an I.
JoiBeatz, JoiBeatz, no space in between, all platforms, capital J, capital B, let's get it.
Hey, Nancia. You can follow me at Nancia Music, Nanciamusic.
Beautiful. Thank y'all so much. Thank
you.
What's up? What's going on, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were blessed by it. I want to say thank you and God bless to not only our beautiful guests that we had here tonight, but also all of you for tuning in, for watching this episode. Be sure to drop some comments, give us some feedback on everything. Also, if you're looking for any Christian apparel, make sure that you check out For His Glory, IV His Glory. You can get 15% off with promo code J_faithofficial. But as always, I just want to extend a wonderful God bless to all of you. I hope all of you are well. Thank you for tuning into this episode. But until next time, my name is Jay Faith, and this is the Right Mind Podcast. We'll catch y'all next time. What's up?